Welcome back to King Josiah TV, guys, where this channel was created to educate, promote, and influence the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world. If you're listening to me on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, guys, before we get started. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And one more thing, guys, go ahead and comment in the comment sections, share this video, and smash that like button before we get this started. All right, guys, let's get into it.
Watch giants fall like Goliath. David, I dance. This ain't no tick-tock. God told me that my steps was ordered. Walking in flip-flops. Chris Rock, how they laughed at me.
It's hard. Here I always talk on a hard subject. I talk on things that aren't easy to talk on. So what I talk about is a Georgia high school shooting where a 14-year-old killed 4 other students. And this happened about, I think, a day or two ago as well. It was all over the news. And we're gonna listen to the story first, guys. So I'm gonna pull this up. I'm not gonna do too much talking before. We're gonna just kind of read on the story, and then we're gonna talk about some facts, because guys, this is this is something that we can't just mull over. As I mentioned, we can't just act like these things aren't real, because I mean, when I looked up the facts on a lot of this stuff, these school shootings and all that, it's insane. 1 second here. Okay, we're gonna play the video first, and we're gonna read some of the article.
Let me introduce you to Lila, who's 16 years old. She was actually in algebra class just this morning, elbow to elbow with that shooter, Colt Gray, as he's been named by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Lila, let me first start with, how are you? How are you coping?
I'm okay. I'm pushing through it, talking to friends, making sure, everyone else is okay, checking on people around me.
Can you bring me back? What happened?
I just remember, the moment that it happened, he was at the door, and I knew they were looking for him already, but he was at the door, and they almost let him in until they backed up, and then he turned away, and that's when you hear, the first rounds of fire.
So he was in class with you, in algebra class. He left. Then he came back, was at the door, and then knocking to be let back in. Why? You told me something about the doors.
Yeah, they lock automatically, so you have to be let in to come back into our classroom. So I think he wanted to come to us first.
Come to you first to shoot?
Yes, to shoot us class.
And then he was at the door. Student went to open the door, and then what happened?
She backed away. I think she saw him, or maybe somebody said something, but I'm pretty sure she saw that he had a gun, and so she backed away.
So she was about to let him into the class. You think to shoot the students, saw that he had a gun, did not let him in. What happened next?
He turns to the classroom to what would have been my right, and he just starts to shoot, and you hear about 10 to 15 rounds back to back.
What did you hear?
Wow. I can imagine being a high school student and seeing this. I mean, when I was in high school, I definitely heard a lot of stories of this. My high school luckily never got shot up. And they've definitely put in a lot of precautions over the years, since the 90s and the early 2000s, to protect students more. So I'm glad that she said that the door is locked. No child should have to go through this. No child should have to sit back and experience these sort of things. But I'm gonna let her keep talking, because I just want the story to be told, so we can hear it out.
What did you think was going on in those moments?
As soon as they didn't let him in, you kind of I don't know, I already kind of had a feeling it was gonna happen and it was him. But as soon as they didn't let him in, and you hear the gunshots, you kind of know.
You knew that something very bad was happening next door. Did he ever say anything?
Crazy.
No, he never really talked. He was pretty quiet. He wasn't there most times. Either he just didn't come to school, or he just would skip class. But even when he would have talked, it was one-word answers or just short statements.
You told me off camera you weren't surprised that he would be the shooter. Why is that?
Just because when you think of shooters and how they act or things that they do, it's usually the quiet kid, or like that's what stereotype for it to be. And he was the one that fit that description in our class.
Did you ever see the gun, or did the student that go to the door see the gun, describe it to you guys?
No, I haven't talked with her after this. It was all pretty hectic.
That's crazy, guys. I just want to read some more of this article and just give us some other information. And they actually did catch this young man. They did catch him afterwards. He surrendered, and then he's in custody as of current. So I'm glad, because most of the situation, these individuals are going to these schools, these children are going to these schools, and they go killing everybody. Every single time they kill themselves, and justice isn't seen. I know God has ultimate justice, and God's gonna, they're gonna pay for that when they, get, when they leave and stand in front of God. But I do believe justice should be seen, and I feel like it's partially an easy way out. But a lot of times people commit these atrocious, like, mass murders, they off themselves afterwards to get out of the punishment, which I think is wrong. So I'm just going to read some of this here. Two 14-year-old students and two teachers were killed in the mass shooting at, the name of the high school was Appalachian High School in Winder, Georgia. 9 other people, 8 students and 1 teacher were wounded and hospitalized, and all whom were expected to survive. The suspect, a 14-year-old student at the school, and his father were questioned by law enforcement last year regarding anonymous tips about online threats to commit school shootings. Oh, wow. So this kid was actually suspected that before. So when his girl said she wasn't surprised, it's sounds like homeboy was into some things before. And that's why I think we got to catch these things before they happen. We have to really be diligent and watchful, because a lot of times you look back in the history of these people that commit these things and it's in front of our face. According to FBI, Atlanta and Jackson County Sheriff's Office, at the time there was no probable cause for arrest. The gun used in Wednesday's shooting was an AR platform weapon, according to the Atlanta, Georgia Bureau of Investigation director. A law enforcement officer told CNN earlier it was an AR-15 style gun. The shooting was at least the 45th school shooting in 2024, and the deadliest of this year, according to CNN and analysis. That is crazy. Guys, so I just wanted to read some statistics, pertaining to that. But I'm gonna pull that up here just a second. So guys, we're going to talk on just I wanted to shed some light on these school shootings, because I mean, I know about them. It's been going on for years, and it's just seemed to increase. And I was like, man, you have to be conscious of these things, because that's how we prevent them from happening in the future. So I just want to bring up some facts about this that I found. The first one that I found here, first some information I just want to share with you guys. It's astounding to me. It's crazy. There have been at least 45 school shootings in the United States so far this year, as of September the 4th. 45. That blows my mind. 13 were on college campuses, and 32 were on K-12 grounds. Elementary schools. These incidents left 23 dead and at least 62 other victims injured, according to CNN's analysis of the events reported by the Gun Violence Archive Education Week and every town for the gun safety. CNN across checks these reports of school shootings against the school and police accounts and media reports. All incidents of gun violence are included, and if they are occurred on school property, from kindergarten through colleges and universities, and all, at least one person was shot, not including the shooter. School's property includes, but is not limited to, the buildings, fields, and parking lots, and stadiums and buses. Accidental discharges of firearms are included, as long as at least one person is shot, but it is not if the sole shooter is law enforcement or a security guard. In recent years, there's been a spike, and this is the one that kind of tripped me out. There's been a stark increase in school shootings from 2021, 22, and 23. All of these settings recorded since the last of 2018. There was at least 82 instances in 2020. That's almost 100 shootings. But in 2022, there was the deadliest year was 46 fatalities. Like, yo, that's bonkers to me, man. Like, I knew these school shootings were bad. I knew there was stuff going on, but I did not know that there was that much of it going on. That's just crazy. That is insane to me, guys. I'm gonna pull up this chart here so you guys can see this. Let me get that off. He didn't try to advertise to me. No. Okay. Yeah, this chart here I wanted to show for you guys. I mean, it shows high school shootings so far this year compared to the same point in past years. 2024, it's 45, as we talked about earlier. In 2023, I mean, it went all the way up to 82%. I mean, 82. I mean, 73. Like I said, as they mentioned, these upcoming years at 2021, 22, and 23, you had 73 shootings, 79, 82, and 45 this year. And it's just spiked, as I mentioned, since 2018. And just seeing that chart, that blows my mind. My heart goes out to all these families and these children, guys. There's gotta be something that can be done for all these senseless shootings and things that are going on. I know the heart of God goes out to this, guys. And all this falls back to, I believe, is raising your kids the right way. Some things are not preventable, no matter how good you raise a child and rear them properly. But guys, we've got to, if you've got guns in your home or things like that, there's just nothing wrong with, I believe in the right to bear arms, but lock those things up enough to where your kids don't have access to them. Show them how to properly use them and proper gun awareness and knowledge. And talk to your children, have conversations with them pertaining to their anger or their sense of feeling secluded from their community and other kids. I mean, because this we got to have these talks, got to have these conversations. I mean, 82 in last year, 82, and it spiked. And then as I was reading more today, I mean, it spiked since COVID. It's like just like, so guys, this is something that's real. It's something that's happening. And again, this goes back to our voting and all these things encompass. It's sad that we have to go through this. This has to be something we have to consider, but this is definitely not something that's okay. So wanted to shed some light on. Thank you guys again for paying attention and sticking along with me. Please go ahead and drop a comment below. I want to hear you guys' thoughts, your opinions, your arguments, your disputes about everything we covered today. Drop a comment below, smash the like button, share this with a family, friend, somebody that you may think that this video may help or may encourage. Again, thank you guys for listening. Again, I will see you guys next week. And if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. If you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give me that follow button. All right, guys. Bye.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way you to sin is death for send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious.